What's up, guys? Duke here. I'm gonna start off by saying sorry about my voice. It's kind of messed up right now. I got a chest cold going on, but I'm gonna try to power through because I'm a champ, and I don't even let sickness stop me from doing these YouTube videos. So that's how I am. Okay. What I wanted to discuss today is going into a hog raid, and lately we have come against some a little bit better hog bases. They're still not hog proof. They're nothing that we should be scared of. We just, I think, are going about one important aspect maybe wrong, and or we're short-sighting that the bigger benefit of what that one area of a hog attack that we always have to kind of deal with right up front. And the same can be said for loons, or a lava loon attack is the queen. And so you're always going after her. You always have to basically deal with her for the most part in every hog attack. And what I wanted to discuss was, and this is going to be a multi-part, I think, hog video or series where we kind of discuss a couple different things. And I wanted to start off with basically at point A. Point A of a hog attack is getting rid of the clan castle and also getting rid of the queen. So we're going to dive into this base. This base gave us a little bit of fits. I was not in this war, but I did watch some of the replays. And I'm not going to pick on anyone's replay per se. I just want to kind of highlight what we should be looking for. And you guys know most of you guys know what to look for. You're looking for, obviously, getting rid of double giant sets. But I think far too often we're worried about taking extra hogs versus what is the best way to trigger the double giant, or can we do that by adding versus subtracting? And what I mean by adding versus subtracting is, far too often I think, well, we'll just take extra hogs, we'll just Asian wall it, and we're going to lose a couple to, what is this dude doing? Oh boy. I think he's referring. Oh, this is great. This is great timing for this. I think he's referring to Nesh going on 1 in the current war. Okay, never mind. All right. I don't even know if I can finish this. All right, where the heck was I? All right, so adding to a hog attack by not taking away. So we're often go in and say, we're just gonna Asian wall them, and if we lose a couple to a double giant set, oh well, we're taking 30 hogs, so we should be fine. But what I want to challenge the thought process of that is, if you lose 6 hogs because they're sacrificial hogs, that's much different than just blindly doing an Asian wall and getting caught losing 15 hogs because they all ended up clumping up when you didn't want them to, or they passed through a double giant set late. Like, I think what happened here on Thrawn's is they ended up passing through this late, and it actually kind of ended up, even though he didn't lose a ton, it killed off enough that it just wasn't enough to get through the rest remaining. This area right here is, I think, all he really had left. So what I want to challenge is, how are you guys going about your queen kills? How are you guys going about tackling the queen kill? A single gown queen kill has its place. It in bases where it's a straightforward hogger and you have no double giant sets to deal with, you're going to want to ramp up those hog numbers just because, why not? There's no big threat. You're taking 4 heals probably. or if you're not taking 4 heels, you're bringing a jump and 3 heels, and there's no real potential for a double giant set. So really, it's just a matter of keeping your hogs healed up, deployed decently, and boom, you're gonna wipe it out. Now on a base like this, it does look like a hogging base. You know, there's a lot of um, clustered defenses where you shouldn't. There are spring traps hidden in here, and that's going to be a problem. But for the most part, if you can deal with a certain danger zones, which as we can all see if we scout it out, there's one right there next to the expo is one, and right next to the clan castle could be one. Those are the only 3 potential double giant bomb sets. Besides, obviously, we've been running into this where single bombs are on the outside of walls. It's a terrible design, but people do it to catch you off guard on the first attacks. And you're going to end up causing, if you run into a double giant outside, boom, depending on the way you deploy, it's pretty much going to be over. If you run into a single, it's probably going to really mess with the timing of what you wanted to time out your heals as, and that can also bust your rate early. So what I wanted to tackle in this first part of this video is, what is the most efficient queen kill? Not efficient by numbers necessarily, because that is a priority in some attacks. That is what you want to be looking for. How do I get the queen down the cheapest, or the cheapest, and getting rid of air Ds for an air attack? But what you want to do in hogs is look at the biggest threat to an air attack is obviously air D. The biggest threat to a hog attack is double giant bombs. How do I get rid of the most double giant bomb spots with the queen kill? And that's what I want to challenge our thought process. Maz brought in a single golem in his original attack, and it's not, I would say it wasn't the worst idea, but look what you're going into with singles. With a single golem, you got a lot of point defense up here, and even just getting down the queen with that could be a challenge. And I know that you wanted to get in here, and it looks like the most direct route to the queen, and then you'll deal with everything later. But I want to challenge and say, why not try maybe wall breaking in, bringing in 2 golems, wall break in over here, okay, and then jump into the queen here with 2 golems. And ideally what you're probably going to accomplish there, and this was a high level queen, so she is going to do a little more damage than normal, than a 10 or a 5. But and this is all based on a blind attack, guys. I'm not saying, oh yeah, I knew that was a double giant set. We find out that it is, and we know that I think this ended up being Tesla's, and this was Tesla's, and the single was right there. But what I'm saying is maximizing a blind run and maximizing your queen kill. So maximize a blind run is trying to get rid of all the danger zones early on, so that's something that you won't even have to deal with. You won't even have to worry about. And sure, you subbed out with 2 golems, you subbed out 6 hogs. Or you borrow from wizards, okay? So let's say cleanup wizards, we're only going to want maybe 4 of those, and we can make our funnel with maybe 3. Efficiency with funnel is also important, because what you can do is pick up another hog or 2 with efficiency of a funnel, using a minion, 2 minions to create a funnel versus a couple wizards. That you just got to start looking at everything as efficient, and not a funnel obviously efficient in numbers, or efficient what you can get down or what you need down. Queen kills, looking for efficiencies of how can I expose as many of the danger zones as possible, not only for my run, because that can ensure a 3-star on a blind attack, and then we don't even have to worry about cleanup, but also is, if this attack fails, am I going to ensure that I've exposed enough that really gave my blind run enough benefit to even doing it? Because if it didn't, then really we're still left wondering later on in an attack. So I would challenge of how would you go about triggering at least 2 spots here. And then we'll worry about maybe the other danger zone down here with our deploy. So then we'd see, okay, if we got down this defense and that wizard tower and that X-bow, what's only left is that, maybe that mortar and that archer tower over here. So we could maybe do some sacrificing of hogs to eliminate any pathing that would come here. And then we can start a fairly, maybe a 2-finger drop starting here and then delaying a little bit on that cannon. And then we're going to be, the pathing of the hogs have then now just turned from, we have no idea where they're going to go. They might cross through the middle or what, depending on what falls first. We've ensured by that point that with maybe 20 hogs, because we've maybe sacrificed 4 or 5 here to get rid of this other spot, we're going to ensure 20 in a single stream, or maybe 2 small streams real quick, to come around here. And I know that seems like a daunting task, but if we're still got 3 heals, just keep the heals on them. And if you know you're going to be dealing with maybe a smaller single stream, you do got to worry about springs, but that's also something that with fine tuning on deployment method, you're gonna find that 20 hogs can go further than you thought. The only other thing that I want to kind of discuss, because this also transitions kind of into deploying, but I wanted to get, is there's a point in a raid where I know sometimes you're waiting on a queen to go down, or you're waiting on an air D to go down for air, and you don't want to start an attack, let's say a main portion of an attack, sooner than like the queen's down. But sometimes if that queen is engaged and for certain she's gonna go down, don't wait. Do not wait to deploy your hogs. If you see what you needed to see got down or defeated or is engaged, don't wait, because what you're essentially doing is with those golems, you're going to be getting some tanking done with this mortar, probably that whiz tower with this X-bow, and let's say there was Teslas in that area, you're going to be getting the benefit of nothing is going to be targeting your hogs. And I know that we're going to be, maybe we'd be deploying down here anyways, but that X-bow still could be chewing off some troops. So could this, that mortar probably wouldn't, but that's not the point. What the point I guess I'm trying to make is start your attack so you gain benefit of things targeting your golems or your heroes or your kill squad versus your hogs. Any way you can keep, that's one of the major things in how guys run Valk attacks with loons or hogs, is they're waiting for things to target their Valks or their tanks so they can slip in hogs or loons from the side. And that's huge, because normally if they're just getting targeted by themselves, you wouldn't get the benefit. They wouldn't be able to do what they can do if they're not being targeted. It's amazing what 2 hogs can do when they're not being targeted. And that's another thing it will kind of dive into is, okay, so you can't maybe expose a double giant set with a direct route to the queen per se, or a decently modified route to the queen. But what you can do is get it with a sacrifice of a couple hogs. Well, maybe 4 or 5 hogs could get it down. I know this is where it starts to get, it's hard to time out this, but what if a little surgical stream with a giant, you throw down a giant and then he's tanking for, to try to get rid of this. He's going to be tanking this archer tower, that archer tower, and you slip in 2 or 3 hogs right here. Now instead of committing 6 hogs, you've only committed basically 4 hogs. You've committed 1 giant and 3 hogs or 4 hogs. So you've saved 5 troop space there, or saved 10 troop space, which that can help. And then you've eliminated that spot if you got rid of that archer tower and that air D. So I'm out of time here. Hold on one sec.